#1 sports talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed, baby. Now, concussion. When we talk about that, you know you might have to talk about some Deontay Wilder up in here. That's some concussion. Y'all know what time it is, whether you like him or not. Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder is back. He's going to fight Robert Helenius in October, I think it is. And that's cool for most. You know, me personally, I'm going to say it every time I talk about him. I don't give a damn one way or another. Deontay Wilder's a legend to me. Had a legendary career. And him coming back, me personally, I think he might not be the same because I saw a dent in his head. And I saw some other stuff that wasn't right. Right? Even the third fight, I thought he got tired too quick. But that could have been the 238 pounds when he's normally around 214, 215, maybe 220 tops. Right, so it could have been that. But we'll see. I'm not sure that his punch resistance will be the same after going through what he's went through in his last 2 fights. Right? But let's just see. He's back. It's going to be excitement one way or another because Robert Helenius ain't going to let it not be exciting. Okay? We're talking Robert Helenius here. Right? So that's going to be good. But Deontay Wilder is, you know, I asked like what he's back out there. So he's asked about Anthony Joshua fight. Right? He said something interesting about that, which he said, you know, basically he thinks it probably was a mental issue. You know, everybody got a mental health issue right now. And Deontay Wilder says, shoot, probably every damn boxer probably got mental health issues, right? And it's some pretty interesting stuff. And he has understanding for all the boxers. He's like, hey, man, we need to get checked, you know, CAT scans and MRIs and all that stuff after these fights, after every fight, win, lose, or draw, right? And he's, you know, trying to do something for the fighters that are fighting now and for the future to make sure that they leave the game healthy. And we know Deontay Wilder cares about stuff like that. So that's very interesting. But he weighed in on Oleksandr Usyk versus Tyson Fury, undisputed matchup. That should be coming soon if Tyson Fury don't mess it up, talking about 500 million. Tyson Fury, you ain't exciting enough for 500 million. Right? You ain't. Because at the end of the day, you're still bigger than everybody. You're just not worth you know, if you was smaller than everybody and still whooping their butt, we could probably talk, but you should be winning. People forget that. We've been talking about Tyson Fury so much and y'all was scared he might lose to Deontay Wilder that you forget he weighed 30 pounds more or more. Right? He's way bigger than everybody. So we shouldn't be really big Tyson Fury fans, actually. But okay, the big dude, right, versus Usyk. Deontay Wilder weighed in on it. It's similar to what I think. Everyone knows by now that comes here. It ain't like everyone. It's only 3 of y'all anyway. But you 3 know what I think about Oleksandr Usyk. Right? I think he's a legend now. I think he's a legend before he even fought Anthony Joshua. I think it's legendary what he did in the cruiserweight division. And I know Holyfield is also undisputed and all of that. But Holyfield probably didn't go to everybody's backyard to beat him. I mean, directly in their backyard. And very good cruiserweights. Very good ones. I'm not going to mention it again. I know y'all be like, oh, well, here he go. Marco Huck in Berlin, Latvia with Maurice Price. I ain't going to do it this time. But it was just so awesome. I like to remind people who might be coming here for the first time. He won undisputed by going directly in everyone's country to fight them. That's just ridiculous. Because whoever you like in boxing, of all of boxing, no matter what nationality, whatever you like, they don't do that. That's why. Legend already. But that got the nerve to go up to heavyweight and beat the person that for 2.5 years ago, people were calling the #1 heavyweight. Before Wilder and Tyson Fury. For a long time. So he's up there beating him, and he's also 6'6", 250 pounds, Anthony Joshua. So Usyk going up there beating him twice, at his crib once, again, and then going to Saudi Arabia to do it. His man's a legend. But now we're talking Tyson Fury here. So Deontay Wilder says, hey, listen, the size and the skill, but the size, you know, the weight, the height, the weight, you know, and then you know, you have to add the skills too. It's not like Nikolai Valuev or 82 Tall Jones for people that's old enough to know what that is, right? Those guys ain't gonna beat Usyk. You see what I'm saying? David Haye beat Nikolai Valuev, remember? And matter of fact, Evander Holyfield, in my opinion, tied him at least. Old Evander Holyfield tied Nikolai Valuev, and Valuev is bigger than Tyson Fury and all that, right? Those kind of guys, Usyk, I got him. But we're talking Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury has skills. I, unfortunately, right, think Tyson Fury beats Usyk on points or a late stoppage. Now, what I'm hoping for is that Usyk some kind of way pulls it out like he pulls out everything some kind of way. right? Some kind of way he does it. He wasn't, let's be honest, he wasn't supposed to be Anthony Joshua. We were worried about him getting knocked out. Now against Tyson Fury, we're not really worried about him getting knocked out, especially if they check them gloves. But then again, Tyson Fury has got some newfound punching power. We don't know from where, but he's found some because he's got rid of Dillian White. So this Tyson Fury, I will give the nod, just like Deontay Wilder versus Oleksandr Usyk. So there you have it, right? I think I'll give it 60-40 to Tyson Fury as well. Now, I just want to mention 3 things that bother me in boxing over the last couple of years. And, that's why, I'm kind of rolled like I am, right? You're talking Tyson Fury. We had the fight with Deontay Wilder, the second fight. We had Tyson Fury's gloves, flapping all over the place. We had a lot of proof and stuff like that. And to watch everybody ignore that, right? All of the boxing media period, the ESPNs, the Fox Newses, and we had proof, and you had prior problems, same type of problems as before. When you just talk to John McDermott, just talk to Christian Hammer, he messed with the gloves with those guys, right? And then Deontay's saying that we got pictures and nobody pays attention at all. No one says anything. That's active, we ignoring you. Actively. Right? So those people, ESPNs and Fox, they got no respect here. I look at them, but you're a big old question mark over you now. At the side, you're looking at them sideways. You're supposed to cover that, whether you're with it or not. What do we got here? What is this? MSNBC versus Fox News or something? No, that's news. The heavyweight champion could have got cheated on. Right? Somebody's gloves could have been messed up. To ignore that, it's just, you lose your credibility. You're supposed to mention it, at least, and it wasn't. That's traumatizing, right? Another thing that bothers me too is, and these are for these Canelo fans that just came into my Demetrius Andrade video, and it's Canelo. Demetrius Andrade is trying to fight only Canelo. Yeah, man, Canelo shouldn't have somebody for 10 years that's in his division, same weight, and don't fight him, but still be called the very best fighter. If you don't understand that, then I don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? You can't call him the very best fighter because the very best fighter, like Terrence Crawford, he doesn't have a Demetrius Andrade, right? Or a Charlo. Nowhere around like somebody's supposed to be better than him when he was at 135 and 140. Nothing of the sort. Somebody in his division begging to, and a champion begging to fight him. That doesn't happen to a Terrence Crawford, right? People, Floyd Mayweather could do what he wanted to do. Floyd Mayweather, what he wanted to do was whoever was the hottest fighter, whoever was coming off their best win ever, that's what he wanted to do. Yeah, he earned the right to do what he wanted to do, but his wanting to do's ain't, I'm a want to fight Yildirim. I want to get a franchise title so I don't have to fight Charlo. I want to get out of a contract for $365 million in 10 fights just because they're telling me to fight Demetrius Andrade, and that brings me to that point. Something else that bothered me. Canelo versus Demetrius Andrade in the middleweight division, which is a glamour division, was one fight away. Canelo only had to say yes to fight Demetrius Andrade for undisputed in the middleweight division. Stop acting like you don't know what that is. That's huge. And did you hear anywhere? No one talked about it. How? How do all these people who talk boxing and know about boxing, no one's talking about that fight that was supposed to happen? Canelo turned it down, even though he was supposed to get $40 million, the most in his career at the time. And media didn't say nothing about it? Well, you don't have to say nothing, because if you didn't say nothing about that, then I ain't listening to nothing else. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you say, how we going? We're boxing fans. That was a middleweight, undisputed fight, and we ignored it, and we start talking about Sergey Kovalev, and they was waiting for him. Canelo didn't even fight in September. That is traumatizing. I don't never forget that. That's why, whatever. I keep talking about Andrade, because that's not supposed to happen. And then we still call the guy who won't do it better, right? Say he's ducking somebody. I am the champion for 10 years. Who the hell getting ducked? Somebody's supposed to want my damn belt, right? Somebody's supposed to want my belt. How am I gonna hold a belt for 10 years and nobody want it? The hell out of here. Talking about he's ducking. Whatever, right? And then another thing that bothered me, when the franchise title came out, because Canelo, again, that's why. Stuff like this. The franchise title is for him not to fight Jamal Charlo. Then the WBC president comes out and not even have a definition for the damn thing, right? says it's not transferable because Charlo said, well, whatever, I don't need the normal belt. Whatever belt Canelo have, I want to fight him for it. Then they start, hey, it's not, it's not transferable. Very next fight is transferable. You know what I'm saying? And we got to look at this stuff. And all the boxing pundits and all the ones that think they're, important, didn't say anything about that. Started, celebrating the franchise title. Talking about Teofimo Lopez is undisputed, Kambosos is undisputed because they got that franchise title, which was just new. You've been in the business for 20 years and you never heard franchise until last year. And then you look at the guys who won't fight. Oh, there's Jamal Charlo. That's why. Then you look at, oh, there's Devin Haney. That's why. Two undefeated brothers. We need something, and they're able to get away with that. And I didn't even start with two of the biggest entities in boxing, being Golden Boy Promotions and Ring Magazine, with racist emails, talking with the N-word, all in the emails, back and forth, and they never had to come out and excuse themselves. Never. So what I'm supposed to be in here? I'm supposed to be in here like, oh, Canelo's the best fighter. Get the hell out of my face with something that ludicrous. Dude got to prove it like everybody else. But anyway, back up to the top before I get to ranting. I just want to make sure you understand. That's why, first of all, we're rolling with Deontay Wilder. All right, I'm saying? This is America. People came with Confederate flags to the Congress, right? People keep forgetting they just came to the Congress. No, Confederate flags. Ain't nobody rebuking that either, right? So I'm supposed to not like Deontay Wilder in a place like that? Get the hell out of my face again. So, Deontay Wilder says that Tyson Fury will beat Oleksandr Usyk. He's just simply too big. And unfortunately, guys, I agree with him. Damn it. Domo Sports Talk. Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all. Have a good one.